Hi everyone, it's Lee here. I want to show you how to make a really easy little journal from just a box. So this was a little protein bar box. Now I saw this idea on a channel called Jelly Belly. No, not Jelly Belly. Jenny Belly. And I loved the way she did it, and I thought I'd make one, but probably just slightly different to what I saw, the one I saw her do. She actually made it look like fake leather on the outside, so I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to recycle some artwork, so I've got some gel prints that I'm going to cover this in. One thing that she did that I thought was a good idea was instead of cutting off these flaps, she left them on and glued them down, so that would strengthen everything. One other thing that she did is to use the existing folds that are in the box to create her spine, but where there was a fold that she didn't need, she actually reinforced it by putting something else over the top of it. So this journal she called, I've written it down, is a dual single signature recycled journal. So it's going to have, it will fold in like that, and that will, there'll be a closure there. So the closure that she made was a couple of you know, the paper buttons with an eyelet on them and had the string around them. So I thought I would, in keeping with the recycling, was to use a couple of these. Well, that one I won't be using because it's too big unless I cut it down, but I thought these would be nice to use as closures. I need to reinforce that with something, so that'll be the first thing I do, is stick something down on here, so another piece of card, and then it will be a matter of gluing these down and then gluing it onto the jelly prints. The pages I'm going to use these bits of paper. They're out of a visual art diary. There was 4 pages left in it, so I thought I'd make use of them because otherwise it's never going to get used. So that's what I'm going to do first. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is glue down this on this fold that I'm not going to use. So I will be using this as my spine, so there'll be a signature in there and there'll be a signature in here. Now I'm going to glue down all these flaps. I just need to trim a little bit of that off. I shouldn't have glued it down so far. So we just need to fix that. Take a bit off. That's better. Okay, so that's going to be the cover. Now I just need to cover it in my gel print, and then I'll be covering the inside as well. So that's not quite long enough, but get as much of it covered as possible. So for this part I am going to use the PVA glue. I thought it was a good idea to leave these flaps on because normally we cut them off, but yeah, it really would provide a lot more strength to your book, to your cover and everything along the edges by having that there. Yeah. So I know I've got glue all over my mat, but it doesn't really matter because there's going to be things glued to the other side of this anyway. So if a bit of glue gets on there, it won't hurt. So I thought this might be a really good journal to use for Junk Journal July. So who's going to be taking part in Junk Journal July? Leave me a comment, let me know. I haven't seen the prompts go up yet, so I've been waiting and waiting for that to happen. I hope it's not too much longer. Going to overlap that a little bit. It's not very straight, is it? It's a bit better. I like using my fingers even though they get all gluey and horrible, but you can really tell where you've put the glue, especially when you really want it up to the edge of something. So using your fingers, make sure that you can actually feel that you have glued right up to the edge. I'm going to hold that down for a little while, just until that glue takes. But that's what it's going to look like on the outside. I don't think that's quite big enough, so I'll get another piece. Turn that up that way. going to switch back to the Aleene's glue for this. Okay, so that's my cover. So I'm going to find those folds again. So that'll be the front of the book. That's the back. And I'm just going to let my glue dry for a little bit before I go on any further. So I'm going to pop that to the side. Okay, so I've measured my book and it's just over 7 inches wide. So I'm going to make my signature 6.5 inches wide because I want a gap. And this is what Jenny did. She left a gap at each end because you're going to have a signature there and a signature there. Yeah, and then this way it's 5 7/8, so I'll cut that at 5 3/4, which will be about there, so it'll be a little bit shorter that way. So my pages I need to cut pieces that are 13 inches, or if I go, I suppose I can just measure 6.5 on here and then fold it, can't I? I just want to get rid of the excess here and straighten that up a bit. And just take that off. So this paper, because it's sketch paper, it's a little bit thicker than copy paper, so I'm not sure exactly what it would be. So now that's going to be the way the page goes, so I should be able to get 2 out of this. So they need to be 5 3/4. So 5 3/4. And I need to go another 5 3/4, and it's not going to make it. It's not going to be long enough. So what have we got? 11 1/4. So that's 5 1/2, it's just under. So if I fold them in half, so I've got 11. Why don't I just use the 0 to make it, find the middle. Sometimes I find this ruler so hard to to use. It's supposed to be easy. So what do we got there? 5/8 and 5/8. Yeah, 5 and 5/8. So it was nearly right. So that'll be my middle. Just double check. Yeah. So I'm going to fold. Well, I should just tear it. It doesn't matter. To me, I'm not worried if the pages are not exactly the right length. That doesn't bother me. So I'm going to line that marking up on one of my thick lines, and then I can tear it straight up. Okay, line up the same line, so I'm lining up that line and this line. There's my dot there, and I'm just going to tear that off. Okay, so I've got so far 4 pages to go into my journal. So what will happen, why I left the gap, Jenny explained this in her tutorial, so I'll leave a link to that one. So you're going to be binding that into there, and then your other signature is going to go into this fold here. So to enable you to not have too much bulk on the spines, you leave that gap. Okay, so I need to cut the rest of my paper up, so I'm going to getting 2 out of each piece of paper, which means I'll end up with 8 of these, which multiplied by 4 is 32. So perfect for Junk Journal July. Yeah, so I'm just going to get my pieces ready, and then I'll come back to you when that's done. Okay, so after I'd cut the first one, I just used the others to, used it as a guide. And how did I end up with? I've ended up with more pages than I thought I'd have. Maybe I had more. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I must have had 5 sheets of that paper. Okay, so now I've got, just going to get rid of that little overhang there. Not that it matters, but now all my edges are nice and neat. I changed my mind about tearing. It was getting a little bit tiresome to do all the tearing. So I reverted back to cutting with the craft knife. Every time I cut, they get a little bit shorter, so I have to be careful, I'll end up with no page left. Because of the style of this book, it wouldn't really matter if your pages were different lengths anyway, because you're going to have some coming from the left and some coming from the right. Okay. Now, in the ideal world, I would have tea-dyed or coffee-dyed those pages to make them look a bit better. So let's have a look at the cover here. So we'll have one lot of pages will be stitched in there, and another lot stitched in here, and there's actually going to be 40 pages in this book, so you can't be too fat or it won't shut. This won't meet up. So I think that's just about perfect. You can see inside there. So what I want to do before I do my binding is to put my closure on. When Jenny did hers, she had 2 on one at the top, one at the bottom, but I'm thinking I will just go with two. One like that, one there. So I need to cut them down. Now, I'm not sure whether this is going to go through, and it's too big anyway. Okay. So I've got this one. So I'll cut that and see how that works out. Otherwise I'll be cutting it with the scissors. Ooh, I think it just made it through. Maybe not. Now I've jammed my... Oh, there we go. Okay, this wasn't such a great idea. Let's put that aside, get another one, and cut it with the scissors. Don't do what I do. Alrighty, back in action. So I've got this one which is 1 3/4, which is exactly what that is. So I've managed to punch a couple of them out, and I'll just trim a bit off from right around the edge, just to knock it back. And I'll only need to do that to one of them. I don't think the other one needs to have it trimmed off. It's really neither here nor there, so that'll fit there nicely, like so, and that can go there. Just gonna eyeball this and use my crocodile to put a hole through it, and okay, so I'll need to use the big hole, just 3/4, 3/6. So just going to go through the whole lot in one go. Looks about the middle. Oh, look what I've done. What an idiot. That was supposed to be there. How could I have made that mistake? Not concentrating. Okay, so what do we do now? Could always have my closure going all the way around. And I could always put another one on here and then pretend that's decoration. Can't believe I did that. But these are the only ones I've got left. And they're heaps thicker. Well, that one's not, but it doesn't really look nice on there. That one, I'm not that keen on it. Maybe that one. And you can see it's really big. And it might still work. Honestly, I wonder about myself sometimes. Has anyone else ever done anything like that? You probably wouldn't want to admit it. It's probably not in the middle, but at this point I really don't care. Okay. Okay, and it's not in the middle, but anyway, and it's hardly even been punched properly. As I said, I hate eyelets, and eyelets hate me. I wonder if I can go through the back of it. This is turning into a real disaster. Oh. It's just gonna pull out. Look. Okay, I'm gonna have to find a bigger eyelet for that. That's just a mangled mess. Okay, so how about I just... I'm so annoyed myself for doing that. I do have some bigger eyelets. I really want to take that off there, but it's going to just ruin it. Okay, so I need to find something to go on there. I'm going to cut this down, it's too big. I haven't got an eyelet that's going to go through that, so I'm just going to use a brad and put it on, and it's a bit different to the one. This had the 3 holes in it. I thought, the 3 circles on it. I thought it might be nice if I cut it like that, and yeah, I think it looks a bit silly. So it just looks silly enough as it is. Got that silly thing on the back there, but yeah, I have that now. So I want to put a little bit of tape over that, just so it's not so ugly. Trim off the arms a little bit. Flatten it down. I'm just going to put a bit of washi over the top. Very dorky looking closure there. I wonder if I should take that out and put a brad in it as well, but I don't know now. Okay, so that's not going to stick. Might have to put some glue on that. So now I want to do my binding. So I am going to just use a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Okay. And I'm only going to eyeball it. So one in the middle, one a bit down from that end, another one a bit down from that end. So we're going to line it up in there, poke through my middle. Oh boy, that's off. That's way off. Don't know how I managed to do that. This is a lesson in how not to, what not to do. It's better. And stitch that one in. Put some wax thread here. Just need it about 2.5 times the length of the book. Okay, so through the middle hole. Up to one of the ends, back through, back out, oh, right up to the other end, to the outside, and then back through that middle hole. So we want one end on either side of that thread going down the middle. And we're going to pull it nice and tight so it's just a square knot, so left over right, right over left. And then I'm going to do that again, left over right and right over left, and trim it off. So there we have one signature in the book, and it's time to put the one in at this end. And make sure I get the center of the spine, get it right on the spine fold this time. Somewhere I have, there we go, my bone folder. I'm just going to sharpen that crease up somewhat. I'm just going to use the same holes to mark where that needs to go. The first holes, I should say. They go in from the outside this time. One hole in the middle and one at either end. So I'm about half an inch away from the edge of my papers. And then I want to do the same thing here and hopefully get that in the right spot this time. That's better. So it's right on the crease rather than willy-nilly as it was. Okay, so that's ready to be sewed. So long enough? Yeah, just about. Okay, so through the middle hole on the spine, down to the end, through the pages, leave that tail out there, the back right up to this one, through to the outside, and then we'll go back through the middle. Look through there and out here. Okay, so we'll tighten it up. We've got one thread on either side of that middle thread, so it's left over right, right over left, left over right, and right over left. Okay, so pages are in, signatures are in, and now she did say you will need to sort of just massage your book a little bit to get them for, you know, everything to lay nicely. Now my glue is still wet, I can feel that, so I think it'd be best if you did leave your glue to dry before you did anything else. So I'm going to attach some string on that now. I've got a bit of jute here, that'll do. So I'm going to tie it onto this one. Off the excess, and that's going to come over here and wrap around there, like so. So I think that'll be enough. Just leave a little bit extra for good luck. And there's the book. Okay, so with that funny little thing on the outside, I mean, I could glue on another one of them to make it look like that was meant to be there. Maybe that one, just for the heck of it. I'll do that later. Got my brad holding that on there. I've glued on a piece of tape there just to cover the arms of the brad. So we've got the two different signatures in here. So you can overlap the pages if you want to. You can go one for one. Completely up to you. Or you can leave them completely separate. So it closes up like so. Zoom around. In fact, and around, and And if you're like me and you put one of these in the wrong place, you can then secure off your string. And it looks like it was meant to be there. Okay, let me know in the comments what you think. And yeah, I really like this. But you can see where I missed on the spine with my my stitching, my hole. Got my hole in the wrong place. Should have been up here somewhere. But you know, it's mine. It's to do what as I want for me to use it. So I wasn't aiming for perfection. I never am, which is a good thing because I never get it. And I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll have a go at it. When I first watched the videos, I mentioned Jenny was, I think that's her, I hope that's her name. Her channel was Jenny Bally, so I hope Jenny is her first name. Hers she had done with fake leather cover on it, so I think I'll have a go at doing that. And that's a really good size, that box too. And I also love that you don't have to cut off all those extra bits. You're using the whole box, so completely recycling. So that was jelly prints that hadn't been used. They were ATCs that never got sent. And that was pages out of a visual art diary. It was one actually that my grandsons had been using, and it just had those 5 blank pages in the back. Perfect for that. Alrighty, let me know what you think. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can be subscribed to as many channels as you like. And we'll see you for another video real soon, and I can't wait till the prompts for Junkjournal July come out. So in the meantime, happy creating. Love to see you back for another video. Hugs and cheers from Australia. Hooroo!